What's that? You need a cup of something? Cup of Joe?
We're back for another episode of A Cup of Joe with Mendo. We got my good friend here, Jason Fiscina, head coach of the Five Towns College Sound. Thanks for you being on today.
Coach Mendo, thanks for having me on, man. Appreciate it.
So Jay, talk me through. You've had a great year. You guys were HVIAC champions, also the USCAA Coach of the Year. It was awesome just following you guys and seeing the path that you've had. So talk to me about it. Tell me about your team.
My team, they're a family. And we came together in the summertime, and you have some talent, but you're not sure how guys mesh. And we came together, and they literally became brothers. And from our first game to our last game, we were connected. And it was a great year, but that togetherness, I knew we had some talent, but it really was that family aspect where we really cared more about just getting wins than anything selfishly. We had no issues with that at all. And it was a really great year, and it was strange because we started out 1-0, big win early, and then we lose to Merchant Marine 7-1. And there was a lot of questioning on that bus, both as coaching staff, players, are we doing things the right way? We went back to the drawing board, changed a lot of things up. We get a game canceled. We were supposed to go up to SUNY ESF, and then which is a conference rival of ours, and that game got canceled. And our next game is SUNY Maritime, NCAA Division III school, on a Friday night at SUNY Maritime. Beautiful night, skyline. You get your first NCAA victory. And we went rolling. We rolled to 14 straight wins after that, and it was magical. It really was like a fairy tale, And would have wished it a little bit of a better ending, but got pretty damn close. So for a second-year program, a lot to be proud of.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations again, and watching you early on and seeing that awesome win against Maritime. I know Maritime is not an easy place to play at, and being right there on the water and the wind and all that and all the other factors, it's a cool experience though, for sure.
Oh, it's one of the, being a New York soccer player, having that sky, it's one of the best places I think to play around in the city. I'm sure there's a few others, but for a college kid, especially for a young program like ours to go there Friday night, they had a little bit of a crowd. We had our women's team there to support. It was a great atmosphere, and it was a close game. It was 0-0 at half. We get a penalty, we score, and then we get the second goal, and away we went, and we rode that all the way to Virginia Beach.
Yeah, awesome. Now with Five Towns with the men's soccer program, especially going into their second year and having such a great year, what is your secret now moving forward? You've done so well. You went to the national final. What's the next step?
The next step is winning it all. That's why we all do this, right? Aside from growing young men and making them, great men of society and all that stuff, we want to win, and I know there's a bitter taste in our mouth, but, the way I keep telling my guys is, you got to crawl before you walk. You got to walk before you run. And the fact is, as a young program, to be in a national final, I think we all saw the lights are very bright there. And I think our next step is using that experience to pass on to our freshmen that come in and to kind of keep our core together. Luckily, we only graduate one senior. So as long as academically everyone stays on track, which that's the biggest thing right now with study halls. And, I tell everyone all the time, 95% of the coaching job is off the field. On the field that's the stuff. It's natural. We all know how to do it. We all know our drills. It's how you build a program from, the outside in, and all that stuff. So right now, as long as we take care of business academically, we have everyone back. And when you win, what you were speaking earlier, recruiting is a lot easier. Now instead of having to necessarily go find kids are finding us. So it's definitely a nice transition from year one where there was just selling a dream with barely not even a soccer field with goals, no uniforms, just saying, hey, this is the dream that we have. And now it's okay. We have a field. We have uniforms. We went to Virginia Beach. We won a conference championship. There's a lot more to talk about now. So it's definitely great.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I even so with a lot of the players and seeing the players that you've recruited and that being posted, it's like, oh wow, awesome player that you got. And it's crazy to see now, as a program being on Long Island, like you guys are you're the next powerhouse, and you can compete at the next level. I believe it, and many others do as well. So excited for you guys.
Appreciate that.
Also too, I want to talk to you a bit about, I know you can't give away every secret, but I know with being undefeated, up until a point, what were your secrets to keep the players going, the staff going, up until the end?
I'll let you in on it. My thing I always told them, aside from the family and what we talk about, we had our long-term and our short-term goals, which everyone has. I had this corny thing. I did it meeting one, day one. We're in our theater. I have everyone come on stage. We do our pregame prayer that we did. And before we did that, I had each guy look at their ring finger. And I said, I want you guys to all close your eyes. And I want you to think about diamonds. I want you to think about, something that says national champions, kind of tied in, kind of from the growth development standpoint, like diamonds, you give a diamond to the girl you want to spend the rest of your life with. The only other time you're going to get a diamond is when you win a national championship. So that was kind of the vision. So anytime we had a tough moment or things were getting kind of tight, I kind of would just be like, hey, close our eyes, think about it, see it, the diamonds, national champions, sound, name, like literally talking it out. And it was awkward the first couple of times. I was even like, it's kind of weird. But listen, like little things like that. We also, and I took a page out of Jim Valvano's book, who's a basketball coach. We practiced how we would celebrate. Like literally, I would be like, okay, 10 seconds, national championship count. I wanted them to visualize it because until you could visually see it, it's hard. And it's funny. We're having our exit meetings now. And guys were like, yeah, you said we were going to win, go all this way and everything. We didn't really believe you, coach. And then we just started winning. And we kept winning and winning and winning. And before you know it, we were like, we could do it. Like, we didn't think, going into the final down the conference player of the year because of a red card and down our starting goalkeeper who was the national player of the year going into a final, we still thought, like, that we were going to win. Like, there was no, like, oh, we're down. Now, looking back on it, we were probably a little foolish to think that you could just lose those two pieces, but we really believe as a group. So honestly, that was the secret, just really buying into the dream. And it's, and again, it's not easy, but when you get 24 guys and, 4 coaches buying into the same thing, you can make anything happen. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, now what would you say besides making it that far, what would you say one of your favorite memories are from the season?
We spoke about Maritime. That was a favorite memory of our, obviously that one was a big win. That's an easy one to pick. I would say the conference playoffs, winning on Saturday, and then Sunday we were tied 1-1 with like 19 minutes to go in the second half. And Word of Life, it got better as the year went on, and it was at Word of Life. So they had a lot of momentum when they scored that goal to tie it, and my assistants were going nuts. And usually I'm the crazy, loud Italian guy. For whatever reason that day, man, Coach, I was like, stay calm. Because if I'm calm, my players are going to be calm. And if I start getting animated and going nuts, we're going to stay calm. A cool moment for me, winning that game, seeing the celebration, seeing, Matt Gercio, our athletic director, who hired me, had faith in me to build a program from the ground up with nothing, right? A chance to coach at the college level. Seeing him cry his eyes out, with about like 5 minutes to go, we're up 4-1, seeing that, seeing the reaction of our players. My wife surprised me the day before, came up with Lauren. So that was great because we all know as coaches, it's tough during the year, and I have a 3-year-old at home. So it's tough. And, having them drive up just to see the semifinal was great. But that whole weekend was really, really special. And looking back on it, I think some of our guys, especially our older guys, took that as almost like their national championship because they knew then they were going to leave the school with something. Because the school, a lot of my kids, 14 of my 24, are the first kids in their families to go to college. So for them, they wanted to leave the school something back because the school's giving them a college education at a reasonable price. Like they wanted to leave something. So as much as, and that's where I think next year will be a little better with, we won the conference already. Now let's go in it. Like, it's tough to control that sort of, okay, we won conference, but we still need to win nationals. But if you've never won conference before, it's hard to understand the excitement, like especially at a small school. You coached in St. Joe's. They put a banner up. It's like people are telling our guys like we're the greatest thing since sliced bread, and it's like we're not done yet. We got 3 more games to win. So I think for next year it's better, but like that whole weekend was really, really special for us for sure.
Okay, that's awesome. I mean, now looking ahead, right? So for next season, are you bringing in any new players, or you're just losing the one, right? You mentioned
we're losing the one senior for sure, but again, we all know academically it's December. We all know things can change, financials can change. We're in COVID right now. Family dynamics can change. So to think we're going to bring back all 23, I would love to say that, but there's a chance we may lose a couple. I'm looking to bring in probably 5 to 7 players. If we lose, definitely 7. Right now, 3 to 5, and now I can be a little more selective with that. Whereas when you're building a program from the ground up, you're really trying to get enough to fill a roster. Because like year one, we had 11 really good players that were from this, a lot from Queens, some from Nassau, but we had no bench at all. Like we had walk-on kids who never played soccer before. We did those kids out with the 2, we had COVID where we didn't play at all, but we had a good recruiting class that year. The following year, we followed up with, I think, as good, if not a stronger one. So I think this year's class, it's now we could look at a certain level of kid now, whereas in the past it was if he's played soccer before, we got to give him a shot, where now we're looking at, all county kids. We had, to give you an idea, our, conference player of the year, Angel Chavez, is a top 100 Nassau player, was an all-state Nassau player.
Yep.
And he's at 5 towns, which, tells you everything you need to know. That's a high-level player to bring in at our level. And then we got to be great at finding the local kid that people overlook size-wise. Like I have a couple of those where they're really talented, but, they probably weren't big enough to play at the Division II level, but they can play at our level and they can play well. So that Queens, Long Island dynamic, man, and I know it as you play, you were a player, Farmingdale, if you get Long Island kids and Queens kids to get along and play, dude, I'll play anyone in the country, anytime. Bring it on.
Right.
This soccer it's life here, So and I'm excited, but recruiting wise, we haven't signed. We have one kid that's been accepted that, was a kid we were actually looking at for the summer that couldn't get in at the time because of his transcripts being translated. But he will be here now, and it's an interesting list. We have about 20 kids we're looking at for 5 or 7 spots, and we're gonna see, who's the right fit.
Awesome. Now, I know we just finished our seasons, right?
Yeah.
And now looking forward for the fall of next year. What are some things, not to throw you on the spot here, but what are some things that you are looking to say maybe implement or possibly change in reflection from this fall?
I think, and I've dove a lot into this, being an educator and a teacher, I'm always going to be critical of myself, what we can do more, what can we do better.
Sure.
I think this year we were a great team at playing soccer, playing the beautiful game the way it's supposed to be played, playing feet, passing, dominating possession. That was the thing. Like we want to have the ball, we want to dictate the pace of play. What's special, what's different, not special, but what's different about the college game than the pro game or, maybe the high-level club game is that you need to adapt to different fields more, and you need to adapt to different styles of play. Like when you play at the professional level, everyone can play. There's some tinkering, don't get me wrong. Tactically, there's stuff. I'm not saying there's not that. But when you play against a big physical team, you have to understand you're not going to keep the ball for 60, 70 minutes of a 90-minute game. You need to be able to get a goal off maybe going off a clearance and not necessarily, we're going to build it up and tactically bring it up. We're a beautiful team when we play that way. And that's what we did against Maritime. They had a lot of counters against us and they had a lot more corners, but we controlled the ball. We were calm. We had the pace. We really kept the ball and we didn't get flustered. When you play against, different teams, you can't necessarily always play that style. Like Merchant Marine, you couldn't play that way. And we got, they were very direct, fast, quick, strong, tall, and we couldn't play that way. So being able to play multiple styles is what I'm looking to really implement in for next year, and really being able to adapt on the fly. I think when you win a lot of games in a row, you kind of stay stagnant. Like we made lineup changes, but we kind of were like, this is our game plan. Come beat us. And, you can't do, like, you have to be able to adapt more. So definitely the ability to adapt and play different styles. And that's tough because we're a small college. So it's not like we have 40, 50 kids and I could say, all right, we're going to have these kids dressed, these kids not dressed. We're going to play this style and that's it. And our league is so different. You can go from playing a physical team to a skill team to, I'll be fully transparent, a team that you could beat without playing any style and just showing up. Right? Certain teams that year they're struggling. So being able to manage all that, to be able to be prepared at the end is the most important. And we did a good job. We didn't have as many. We only had like the 2 red cards this year, but the red card for, Angel Chavez was costly. It was at the national second group game and it cost us. So being able to continue that discipline is the thing. And then the last thing, I know I gave you a lot here, but because there's always so much as a coach when you're looking at it. It's like there's so much. To me, being such a young program with so much success, we've learned how to win really, really well, but we never have had to learn how to lose. And even year 1, 9-4-1, there were some of those games we knew we were going to lose. Other ones, poor referee decisions, drama, you name it, frustrations. And it kind of trickled its way. Like even in the national final, we had a kid sent off. We had frustration at the end of the game, controlled, but still, like, the idea that learning how to deal with those pressure, tough situations that don't go our way. Everyone can deal with it when things are good. It's how do you react when things are bad? And we reacted well when we played Merchant Marine and we got our butts kicked. We went back to work. We practiced hard. We really got ourselves prepared. But we didn't have to do that. We didn't deal with a loss and we played them September 1st, I believe, or 3rd, right? Mm-hmm. We didn't lose until November 15th. So we went 2 months with, we win. We win in PK. We win 4-1. We win this way. We win that way. Like, we just win, and it's this magical ride. And you're like, well, I don't believe in magic, but maybe this is fate and destiny, and we're just a team. And it's like, no, you got to be able to adjust. So those are the things we're working on as a staff for sure.
That's awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm excited to tune in next season, which before we know it, we'll be here, which is just how it works, isn't it? Yeah. But Jay, thanks for your time, to join me this evening. And if you don't mind, for our listeners, if you can just share your email, for any players out there that are looking for an opportunity, that they can contact you.
Absolutely, and we're always looking. For us to go to the next step, which is win a national championship, we have to broaden our recruiting horizons even more. So we're open to any players. Send us an email, highlight tape. We'll take a look. We love to see you play live, so send your schedule as well. My email is Jason JASON .FISCINA @ftc.edu. That's the best way to contact me. So it's jason.fiscina@ftc.edu. Best way to contact me. You can always also go on the website. There's a link right to my you go to the staff directory, there's a link right to my email. And email is the best way to contact us. I have 3 great assistant coaches. I'm going to give them a shout out right now. Coach Wells, Coach Nala, and Coach Barros, constantly working, and we're constantly looking to get better. And Long Island's very competitive for soccer, so we have to continue to grow our program. So we're definitely not looking to stay stagnant. We're looking to, keep getting better.
Excellent. All right. You guys will keep trending. So keep it up. Keep up the great work, and congratulations again. And looking forward to having you next time. All right.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Coach. Have a good one. Cheers. Take care.